If this video popped up for you, you're probably curious about buying a mountain home in Colorado and living more of an off-grid lifestyle. That's something that I've always been drawn to, so I can definitely relate. And today I'm going to dive into what an off-grid situation looks like. I'll talk about some of the advantages of having an off-grid home as well as the specific challenges that come along with it. So by the end of this video, I want you to have a better understanding of whether this lifestyle is right for you and if it works with your budget. And as a bonus, at the end of this video, I'm going to give you a tour of a stunning off-grid home in the town of Central City, which is about an hour's drive west of Denver. So make sure you stick around for that. I'm Jessica. I'm a real estate agent here in Colorado. I work with buyers and sellers who are moving to Denver and the mountain towns just west of Denver. If you're considering a move to Colorado, hit that subscribe button so that we can stay in touch, and reach out to me when you're ready to make your move to Colorado. Let's start with one of the main draws of an off-grid home, which is independence and sustainability. Off-grid homes allow you to be self-sufficient since you're not relying on public utilities. Most off-grid homes will have solar power and generators for electricity, well water, and septic tanks. So not only does this give you the freedom to live where public utilities don't reach, but it also makes off-grid living a more sustainable choice for the environment. The home I'm going to give you a tour of at the end of this video is powered by about 11,000 watts of solar panels, which is more than enough for this home at approximately 2,000 square feet in size. So one of the challenges that comes with relying on solar power is what happens if the batteries run out of charge or if your panels get damaged. So most solar panels are manufactured to be weather resistant, hail resistant, and can hold up to hurricane force wind. So if you're buying high quality panels, it would take a lot of force to actually cause damage to the panels themselves. This particular home that we're going to tour at the end has a backup generator that's powered by propane. So if something were to happen to the solar panels or the batteries got low, the generator will kick in to provide electricity to the home. So solar panels provide electricity to your home, but they can also power your heat source. Whether it's baseboard heating, radiant floor heating, or forced air system, it is possible for solar panels to provide you the energy you need to heat your home all winter. Now let's talk about the water situation for off-grid living. So the cost of digging a well can vary greatly, anywhere from $30,000 all the way up to $60,000 or $70,000. The reason there's such a large gap in this cost is because you won't know how deep the well needs to be dug until you start digging. So the further into the ground you have to go, the more expensive it gets. However, when you're working with the local well company, they're usually pretty familiar with all the different areas that they work, and they'll have a good idea of how far you'll need to dig in a certain location. So now water quality isn't necessarily going to be the best just because you have a well. You need to install some type of filtration system, and you'll definitely want to do periodic water tests to check for mineral levels, bacteria, and things like that. Another option to consider as a water source is having a cistern for water on your property. So this particular home that we're going to be taking a look at has two 2,800-gallon cisterns for its household water use. This amount of water will last two people about 80 days. So when you store water in cisterns on your property, you'll have the water trucked in when you need to refill your cisterns, and the cost is going to vary, but I'd say you'd be looking at about $100 to fill a 2,800-gallon cistern. If you're finding any of this helpful, please hit the like button on this video and hit that subscribe button as well. So before we jump into some of the challenges of off-grid living, and if you want to, hit that pause button real quick and leave a comment letting me know your number one reason for considering an off-grid home. If you want the independence and sustainability of off-grid living and plan to build and implement your off-grid home yourself, there's going to be a lot of upfront expenses. Solar panels, battery storage, water wells, cisterns, septic tanks. They're not only expensive to set up, but if something breaks, whether it's your power inverter or your septic system, you'll have to fix it yourself or pay for a specialist to come out. And paying for someone to come out can also be expensive, especially if you're in a more remote location. So if you're buying a home that's already built, you can avoid those upfront costs since you'll be rolling everything into a mortgage loan. But you're still going to need to know and understand your systems, learn how to maintain them, and maybe you can even learn how to do certain fixes and repairs yourself. I imagine if you're craving this more sustainable, self-sufficient lifestyle, you're probably not afraid to get your hands dirty and figure out how to fix things. Now let's talk about one of the biggest appeals of off-grid living, which is privacy. So again, if you found this video, you're probably dreaming of living on a large piece of land, far from the hustle and bustle of the city, no traffic sounds, no light pollution. But with all that privacy and space, you're also going to face some unique challenges, especially when it comes to accessibility. One of the first things to consider is that you probably won't have an HOA or many neighbors around you. While this means no one's telling you what you can or can't do with your house or your land, it also means you're on your own when it comes to maintenance and emergency situations. You'll want to make sure that you're okay with a more isolated lifestyle. Something I've noticed about mountain communities is that neighbors do tend to look out for each other. So it's a good thing, even if you're an introvert and you want to be left alone, make the effort to get to know the property owners around you so that you can be in touch and look out for each other in emergency situations, or collaborate on things like plowing the roads. Which leads me to one of the biggest challenges of off-grid living, particularly in the mountains, which is road accessibility. If your property is off a county-maintained road, the good news is you'll only need to dig out your own driveway after a snowstorm. But if you're living off a private road that isn't publicly maintained, you're going to have to either plow it yourself or work out a deal with your neighbors to pitch in for someone to come in and plow it for you. That's something you'll need to plan for, especially after a heavy winter storm. Living off-grid also means being prepared for emergencies. You're going to have wildfires and heavy snowstorms. You could even have a medical emergency. So these are all realities that you're going to have to consider and have a plan for. There's also the question of basic services, like how will you get rid of your trash and recycling? You may have to haul it yourself to the nearest facility if there's no trash pickup available. So while off-grid living offers a sense of peace and privacy, you definitely need to keep in mind these accessibility challenges and emergency preparedness considerations carefully. So it's all about balancing the pros and the cons to see if this lifestyle is the right fit for you. So another benefit of building an off-grid home is the freedom that you have to completely customize it to suit your lifestyle. You have the ability to incorporate the latest in green building materials, energy efficient appliances, and sustainable practices. So whether you want to go all in on self-sufficiency by growing your own food and harvesting rainwater, or you prefer a balance with modern conveniences, choices all yours. You're in control of how independent from public infrastructure you want to be. But with that freedom comes responsibility, especially when it comes to regulation. One of the downsides of building an off-grid home is that not every area is going to allow it. Counties and municipalities will have zoning restrictions that limit where and how you can build. For example, in Gilpin County, there are regulations on well water use, septic systems, and building codes that your home must meet. It's critical to thoroughly research these rules before diving into your build. Another important consideration is whether you'll be allowed to stay on your property while construction is ongoing. Some areas have restrictions on living in temporary structures like RVs while your home is being built. So again, you'll want to check with the local building department to determine all of the regulations and restrictions that might prevent you from doing what you want to do on your property or with your structure. So let's go take a look at a new construction home that was built with off-grid features that's also fully compliant with local building codes and regulations. I hope this home inspires you and shows you what's possible in terms of off-grid living. Thank you so much for watching, and if you're considering a move to Colorado, I'd love to help guide you through the process. Be sure to like this video, subscribe to my channel, and turn on notifications so you don't miss any future updates. And if you're ready to start your home search or you have questions about the Colorado market, feel free to reach out to me. I'm always here to help. Until next time, happy house hunting in Colorado.